All right. Welcome back to my channel, Happy Farms, Louisiana. My name is Danny. So this is our third season with this Intex above ground 20-foot pool. We have finally gotten it level and we've got it right pretty much. You know, we still have our mistakes and I'm going to show you those so that you can learn from our mistakes and do better. So I'm also going to link all the pool stuff below. If you want to order through our Amazon link, that's awesome. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, I'm open to those. Just leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go check out this video of setting up this Intex above ground pool. Alright, so here's a little shot of the space, and I will tell you I have dumped two. This is the third bucket that I've dug out of here, and there's some more dirt over there. So I've taken this down hopefully at least another inch, and I'm trying to bring it to the middle. I ran into a pipe, which is gonna kind of hinder me a little bit. But my theory is, you know, even if it's a little high in the middle, it being lower on this side is gonna help me out, because this is where it was. This has always been the low side, but I've discovered for sure that last year this was our problem. This is where the leg was, and the leg went down a good 4 inches. So I think our pool is going to be a lot better because we're going to use these underneath these to be sure that they do not sink. And I think what happened was the ground was really wet when we did it, and we were just in such a rush, so that happens. Look at this one. That one's like 6 inches sunken down. So everything on this side sunk from 3 to 6 inches, and that was why our pool was off level. So if we solve that problem and we take it down just a little on this side, I think we're going to be good. So just sweeping gets all these little rocks. And like I said, I'm not as worried about it being perfectly flat, because the only problem with this is that's where your dirt's going to gather on the bottom of your pool, is wherever it's not completely flat. But it's really not that important to me because I keep a pretty clean pool and I don't mind scrubbing the bottom. It's kind of an activity I do in the pool. So, alright, update. We just got some holes filled. We made sure to use some dirt that had been dug up, kind of, so it wasn't any chance of rocks being in it. But where there were holes, we just kind of tried to level those out a little bit. And like I said, we're going to get some rain, so I'm hoping that this will just level in here. We have a pipe right here, so we try to kind of make it gradual. I don't know if you could see that, but yeah. So, well, we had a really heavy rain, and from the looks of it, this side is now lower. Oh my God. But that's okay, because to me, that's going to be fine, because it always appears lower, and I think it's just because we dug on that side. But this is always the low side, so maybe this year will be good. Now we'll have to see how this dries out. Okay, so a day after the rain, it's drying up pretty good over there. That's showing that that's kind of lower, but it's still going to be fine, because this is the low side. Keep smiling. We got a lot of rain, so here we are pumping out the pool again, and then we're going to clean it and move it back over, and then we can start filling it up. And after it pumps out, I'm going to test and make sure that this pump still works. Alright, so it's a few days later. The pool is almost empty. Now we got to clean this out, and then we're going to be able to move it over into the spot. Looks like we've got some gumballs on the ground to get out of the way, but we're well on our way. Alright, so we got it put in place, and we're putting the wood underneath the ones that have lost their base. And now it's time for the clean and make sure there's no rocks underneath. It's looking fairly level. It's a little high right there. And now it's a little low over there. Alright, I kind of wanted to explain what we're doing to clean it. Try to stand still, okay? So we sprayed a little bit, and we sprayed some bleach, and then we're just using a broom. We're coming through and scrubbing, and come around the outside. Scrub the side.
Alright, this is what it looks like after we cleaned it. We're talking about filling it up today. Isn't that right, Mama?
Maybe so.
I hope so.
We're gonna close up the seals, and then we're gonna get in there and just make sure there's not all these wrinkles, and I'll get some footage of me doing that. It's kind of goofy. And then we're gonna be ready to fill. And the main thing when you're filling is that you check on it the whole time it's filling, especially in the beginning. And we're also gonna walk around and make sure that there are no rocks underneath.
Guys, can I go inside?
No. Alright, that's good. We're almost ready. Alright, so check, and recheck, and while this pool fills up, this fool's gonna spend her time inside the pool, making sure everything's going as it should, and checking all of these and making sure that. So he's leveling it out. We're using this wood. We don't have concrete pavers. It's the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, and we're just not gonna wait for the order to come in or go pick anything up. We're just gonna make do with what we have, and we're hoping that the third time is a charm. It's been off level twice. The first year it was like 3 inches off level, and then the second year we made it even worse, and it was 5 inches off level, and it looked like it was gonna collapse. So hoping that this time we can get it right. So stay tuned. So I'm also coming in with a towel and bleach and just making sure that all my connectors are clean, because you want all these grooves clean, because that's, you know, you want a solid connection. So I have a few of those to clean. So I have a whole video on how I set this up the first time. But after I cleaned this is the one that intakes from the pool from 2 different ones. I'll link the video on how to set it up, but I'm just gonna reconnect it to this one, and then this one here connects to the right back in the pool. It's pretty simple, but check out the video on the sand filter. Alright, so we have water coming in. If you're wondering how long it takes to fill, this is a 20-foot, 48-inch deep pool. It's, yeah, it's just called a 20-foot, and it takes about 8 to 9 hours to fill up. And I'm gonna stay with it, and I'm gonna make sure that the edges aren't wrinkling, and it's just filling up real nice. So I'm gonna be out here for a couple of hours, because if you leave it alone, it could start to lean. You want to make sure all your poles stay upright. So yeah, just stay with it. It's your baby, you know, because you're about to put 10,000 gallons of water in this pool, and trust me, you don't want to screw that up. I've done it before. So I will check back. All right, we're at about 3.5 to 4 inches, depending on where you measure. It's looking pretty good. So at this point I'm going to go around the outside, make sure none of these are askew. They're all looking pretty straight up right now. And I'm going to come back every 30 minutes, I'm thinking, and check on it. Alright, just checking on the fill. I think we're at about 5 inches. Alright, it is 3 o'clock.
And I wish I could go dip in the pool.
Let's check how many inches we have here. But level wise, everything's looking good. Alright, it is 4:30. It means we've been at this for a good 5 hours. All right, it's 5 o'clock and this is what we're looking like. It's looking good. But we're getting pretty full, a couple more hours and it'll be dusk, and we will hopefully get it high enough to turn the filter on tonight and just run it with no salt in it. I might put some chlorine in tonight, but I don't have to do it right away. We might just swim in fresh water tomorrow. Alright, it's the next morning. We turned the hose off last night at about 7:30 and turned it back on this morning. Probably another hour and we'll be maxed out here. Update on the leaks. We do have a leak here. It's not extreme. Seems like a pretty slow leak. Alright, I'm going to show you the other leak. And something that's not so great is that this piece of wood is sinking a little bit because of that leak. So anyway, we did order the tape, so we'll try to find the hole wherever it is. We should have put a wider base underneath this, but it's too late now. You know, concrete pavers would have been great, but like I said, we don't have access to those right now. So it looks like everything's going to be fine. We're looking pretty level most of the way around. It's the best we've ever done, so I'm going to say it's going to be a win. And the kids can't wait to swim today. And the next thing I'm going to do is, yep, the water is up to here, so we can go ahead and turn this on now. Let's do this now. I gotta plug it in. Alright, so it's been about a minute. I'm gonna turn off the backwash and we're gonna go ahead and turn it to filter. Now I don't have the salt in, so there's just, you just want to do a regular filter. So I'm gonna turn it on and it should, yep.
Wow!
There we go.
It looks amazing. That's what it looks like when me and Aiden like pull the hose out.
Nice and strong. Ah! All right. Now I just want to make sure that we're just pumping. We want to do a free pump. So when it says FP, to get to FP, you just hold these two buttons, and that's a free pump, so it's not trying to turn the salt into chlorine, it's just pumping the water through. The next thing we're going to do is just swim, and then I'll add some chlorine tonight and let it free pump tonight, and then tomorrow I'll add the salt and we'll go from there. I'm still waiting on my salt and chlorine strips testers to come in. But yeah, we've got some circulation, so we'll let that run for a while. So if it was turning the salt to chlorine, then this would be working, but right now the water's just going straight through here. But it's still going through the sand, so that's good. And we made a wet mess down here. Alright, check back later. Alright, it's ready and the kids are swimming. Yay! Alright, so here it is. This is as full as we're going to get it. Wow. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy, guys. So, like I said, what I'm going to do is let us swim in it today. We're going to swim in it today as is. And then tonight at dusk, I'm going to put in the granulated chlorine that I have. And I will run my filter just on free pump. And then in the morning, I will add the salt. And then I'll probably free pump it for another night and then go ahead and turn it on to salt to chlorine the next night. I don't have my strips, but I feel like I've got this kind of down. So anyway, here it is. It looks like, you know, that's going to be our high point. We've got like two, it's like an inch off. There's two showing there and one showing here. So we're almost getting full swim action. Alright, pool people, so I just wanted to show you what I'm doing at the end of the day today. This is the end of the first day. There are no chemicals, so I'm going to go ahead and put the chlorine in, and I'll just show you real quick in case you're just like wondering. This is the chlorine. So it says for a 10,000 gallon pool, we're going to put a pound, and so that's going to be 2 cups, 16 ounces. It's granules. Alright, so what I just did was plug it in, made sure that both of my intake and out are open. The next thing I'm going to do is, alright, so I've got the pump running, and it's on free pump, and I'm just going to get my scoops. Careful with this stuff. And put it in right where the outtake is. Then I'm going to get my, because you don't want it to sit on the bottom. You want to kind of give it a hand to spread out. Having the filter on will help. But I'm going to go ahead and spend a few minutes just getting this turned into the pool, and then I will put the other one in, and I'm going to let this run on free pump for a while. Probably about 8 hours, and then tomorrow we'll start adding the salt. One more thing I will say is I hope we have as good as luck as we had last year. I put the chlorine in to start and then added the salt last year, and I think one other time I used chlorine to shock the pool, but I didn't even need to. I was just being cautious because we'd had some really hot days and a lot of people in the pool. But it gets, you know, really hot here in Louisiana in the 90s, and that zaps your pool of chlorine. But if you turn your salt to chlorine converter on every night and let it run, it produces new chlorine and your pool will stay clean. Our pool did. It was completely sparkling all year last year, so I'm just hoping that my simple methods work. I do test the chlorine, make sure it's made the chlorine overnight, and I did test the salt levels to make sure you're maintaining your salt level. But that's it, like super minimalist. And it worked out, so anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out my other videos on setup. Be sure to subscribe and see, you know, what happens with the fixing of the leaks, and I'll keep you guys posted. You're appreciated, and happy swimming. Bye.